Legends, it's Aqua, and I am finally getting around to doing a collection tour for 2024. I apologize, I usually do this in April, but it's been a very busy couple of months, and with BriarFest only a couple of weeks away, which is so exciting by the way, I figured I would give you guys a bit of a collection tour before all of the BriarFest ponies show up. So here's a bit of an overview of my shelves. Ignore the bottom, it's all storage. But yeah, that is pretty much my entire shelf. So we're gonna start at the top for a change, and then we're gonna work our way down. So let's start with our biggest conga. This is my Dundee conga. It's currently sitting at 16, although I do have 2 more on the way, which I'm really excited about. You guys will see them in my BriarFest hauls, so don't stress. So here we have Itadori. This is Iki, who is painted by Lightning Leo on Instagram. And this is Splinter, who is painted by Amarang Studios on Instagram. By the way, I will have all the links to the artists in the description below so you can find them. This guy, I don't actually have a name for him. I've had him for a few months, but I haven't actually got a name for him sorted yet, so he's a no name at the moment. Then we have Kai, and Kai 2.0 because there's doubles. Then we have Jiraiya, who's wearing a flower crown that's made by Infinity Briars, and he was painted by Bits and Briars on Instagram. Then here we have Peaches, who is painted by Elena Daniel. Just here we have all of my Schleck ponies, so hopefully I can remember all their names. This is Pepper, Mocha, we have Chris, sorry my camera is not focusing. Here we have Chris, who's painted by Night Sky Studios. Then next to him is Dante, who is painted by Breeside Farms, I believe. Then in the front here we have Punch. This Andalusian is Whirlwind. We have Midnight, Ranger, Akatsuki, who was painted by Whirlwind Model Horses. Then we have Adagio, Lightning, Copper. Oh my god, I'm trying to remember all the names. This is Wonder, Paris, Apollo, Memory, Violet, Cloud, Trust, Zeva, who was painted by King Zorg, and he was also resculpted by Jonas Varoma. Then we have Aurora, Comet, Banner, Chase, and then in the front here we have Milkshake. Not gonna lie, that was a bit of a mouthful trying to get through all those. But next we have the other half of my Dundee conga. So here we have 4. This is Asuma. Next we have Alaska, who's wearing a beautiful scarf that was made by Mr. Bobby's Woolies. Then we have Fanta. This is Ingressus, who's wearing a costume that was made by Infinity Briars. Then we have Fox, Kristoff, and then Charlemagne, or I like to call him Charlie. He was painted by EA Studios. Moving down a shelf, we have my Bristol. This is Hank. Here we have Tinen, my 2 lovely Vermeers. So this is Hizadukes and Ezra, who's wearing a costume that was made by Infinity Briars. And then here we have Cancion. He doesn't have a name because like, you're probably gonna end up painting him after the series. So that's just Cancion, and he's wearing a costume that was made by Shield Studios, I believe. I probably got that wrong, but anyways. Moving on, we have some of my Morgans. So this is actually a new pony. I don't believe I've shown you guys this new pony. This is Catcher, although I still haven't come up with a name for him yet, but I am obsessed with him because I have been wanting him for a very long time. He's a portrait of Infinity Briar's real horse Catcher, and I absolutely love him, so that's Catcher. Then we have my Santa Fe Morgan conga. So here is Shiro. We've got Cody, who's wearing a blanket set that was made by Infinity Briars. Then we have Iruka, Wakanda, Seiji, and then Jay. Next we have my Fireheart conga. So this is Mojave. I've actually been pronouncing it as Mojave for some reason, but I'm pretty sure the correct way is Mojave. So anyways, this is Saya, and then here we have Bruno. And then next to them, we have my 2 bunnies. So this is Tsunade, and here we have Pacific, or I like to call her Fifi, and she's wearing a halter that I made, as well as a flower crown that was made by Infinity Briars. Next we have my painted resin shelf alongside my unpainted resin shelf. But these are majority of the resins that have been painted already. So this guy might look familiar to some of you. He's brand new to my collection. His name is Loki, and he was painted by Julius Starren. Next to him we have Unagi, who is painted by Sabbat Store on Instagram. Then we have Genma, who is painted by, I believe it's Painted Sky Studios. I could be wrong though, but it'll be in the description so you can find them. These two are a painted pair. So these two were painted by Nomad Horses. This is Switch and this is Twitch. No, wait. Wait, I got that wrong. This is Twitch, this is Switch. Yeah, they're really cute. I always get the names mixed up for some reason. This is Momoshiki, who was painted by Karen Zorn, and he's wearing a halter set that was made by Infinity Briars. Next we have Azula, who I absolutely adore. Like, look at her face. It is so pretty. I love the mutation. She was painted by Elena Daniel of Sugar Sweet Studios. And then here we have Icarus, who was painted by Sue Kern-Thompson. Next we have all of my unpainted resins, and I promise they will be painted at some point. Also, ignore this one, he's going to be repainted at some point. So we've got a Cat Fleet resin, we've got a Thunderbutt resin, Scotty resin, then we've got a Shilbert resin, I think this is a Boreas resin. Then we've got Alexis and Portia in the back there. We've got an Andalusian, I have no idea what name the resin is. And then we've got a Mini Lola. We've got another Andalusian, I believe, or a Lusitano, I can't remember. Then we've got my Wayne resin. We've got a Mira resin. And then in the back there, we've got an Ankle Biter resin. Moving down, we have my Kinnering Warmbloods. So here we have Axel wearing a blanket that was made by a friend of mine. Then we've got Hiccup, who was painted by Amarang Studios. We've got Kane, who's wearing a flower crown that was made by Zeus Tack. And then here we have Tracer, who's wearing a costume that was made by Infinity Briars. Moving across, we have Griffin, who's also wearing a costume that was made by Infinity Briars. Then we have my lovely Gypsy Banners. I adore this mold. It is so pretty. So we've got Tamari, the original Premier Club model, and then we've got Shizune, who was painted by Sugar Sweet Studios. And then we've got the two fillies. This is Himawari, who's also painted by Sugar Sweet Studios. And then we've got Remy. I decided to keep her name because it's so cute. And then here we have my Fjords. This one is nameless. I literally just got her, so I have no idea what I'm gonna name her though. Then we've got Sienna and Kushina. And then this little guy just here, oh my god, he's such a poor soul. He had a tumble and his tail broke and also his peg broke, so I've still gotta go and fix him, but I promise I will get around to you, buddy. On the next couple of shelves, we have my Foundation Quarter Horse Conga. So we're gonna start here with Voltaris. We've got Yamato. This is Okino, who has a scarf that was made by Mr. Bobby's Woolies and a halter that was made by Infinity Briars. This is Macaroni. Then we have Lloyd, Tex, Neji, Taro, who's wearing a halter that I made. Then we have Sai. This is Daniel, who's wearing a costume that was made by Infinity Briars. And then here we have Bacardi and Kakashi. This next shelf is my absolute pride and joy because it has my two Albarozos. So this is the original Albarozo, this is Moroboshi. And then here we have a custom that was painted by, I'm pretty sure it's Danielle Dunn, I believe. His name is Iolia and he's absolutely gorgeous. Then on the next shelf, we have my Ethereal Conga. So we have Zuko. This is Legacy, who was painted by Waterfall Studios. Then we've got Jax. This guy doesn't have a name and I have no idea who painted him, but he's wearing a costume that was made by Infinity Briars. Then we have Sen and Thalius. And then on the end, we have my two newsworthies. This is Flash, who was painted by EA Studios. He's wearing a halter that I made. And then here we have Kanan. On the very end here, we have my three Shenandells. This is Saka, who's wearing a halter that I made. I'm sorry, this is a really awkward angle. Then we've got Marcus, Hunk, and then on the end here we have Minato, who's kind of just chilling by himself. He's wearing a costume that was made by Infinity Briars. Moving down, we've got my Idicus Conga. So this is Reggie, who was painted by Rangalade Studio. Then we have Mahoa, who's wearing a costume made by Infinity Briars. This is Michelangelo, who was painted by Mac Studios. Then we've got Gara, who was resculpted and painted by Lake Studios, I believe. And then here we have Nomad, who is painted by Waterfall Studios. Wow, that was such a big mouthful. Next we have my Duende Conga. So this is Lucan. Then we have Kovu. Sorry, my camera's not focusing. Kovu was painted by EA Studios. Then we have Inquisitor, who was resculpted and repainted by Amon Ridge Studio. And then here we have Angor. Next we have some chunky boys, and I have to say that I am obsessed with this mold. For those who have been following me for a while, you know who this guy is. I have not finished him. It's been absolutely years since I started him, and I have not found the time to finish him, and I feel so bad. His name is Isa, and then here we have my 3 OF ones. So this is Sasuke, we have Choji, and then this is Alvin. Next to them, we have my Roxy custom. This is Astrid, who was painted by Sugar Sweet Studios. And then we've got my 3 Geronimos. This guy is Shikamaru, who's also painted by Sugar Sweet Studios. I have way too many customs of Elena's work. I'm obsessed with it. It's so pretty. Sorry. This is Genji, who was painted and resculpted, because he has a resculpted mane, by Sukern Thompson, and he's wearing a flower crown that was made by Infinity Briars. And then here we have a resculpt that got really badly damaged. I feel so bad for him, but I promise I will fix him up at some point. His name is Aang, and he is wearing a blanket that was made by a friend of mine. Next we have some little ponies, and I'm obsessed with these Welshies. They're so cute. This is Arista. Wow, I had to think about that for a second. This is Arista. Then we have Cameron, Ryan, and then this is one of my absolute favorite customs. This is Euphoria, who was painted by Deb Brown. I'm just obsessed with her color. It's so pretty. Okay, moving on. We have my Nakotas, and somehow I managed to fit 3 of them in one cube. So this is Katalis, who was painted by Sugar Sweet Studios. Again, another beautiful custom by Elena. This is Bakugo, who was painted by Deb Brown. And then here we have Mekek. Next shelf we have my 2 Yasmins. So this is Cora, who was painted by Melf 1987, and then here we have Suki. Next we have all the foals and and a couple of adults as well. I apologize. So here we have Savannah wearing a cute little costume that was made by Infinity Briars. Then we have Jinora. This is Dawn, who's also wearing a costume that was made by Infinity Briars. Then we have Luca, who's not in focus, there we go. This is Ivana, who was painted by Sukern Thompson. Then we have Lily. I'm just gonna move slightly so you can kind of see her better. She was resculpted and painted by Deb Brown. Then, oh god, wow, her eye is so weird. This is Lucy, one of the Premier Club models. And then here we have Excalibur, who's also a Premier Club model. So they're kind of just chilling out together. Actually, they look really cute together. Why? How? Anyways. Alrighty, you guys, we're on the final shelf now. So here we have my 2 Giselles, or Gazelles. I can never remember how they say it. This is Dea, who's wearing a gorgeous costume that was made by Infinity Briars. We've got Callista. Then here we have Larissa and Rayla, who's wearing a coat that I actually made. I was so surprised that I actually managed to make one. Then we have Thunderbird. We've got my 2 Georgs. This is Vendel and Azeroth. And then on the very end here we have my Peter Stone. This is Sherlock, and he is wearing a halter that I made. It even has his name on the side, so yeah. So that is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have quite a few other videos planned because Briarfest is literally around the corner. I'm so excited. I need to do my opinions video. I need to do a video explaining where I'll be and what's gonna be happening when I get to Briarfest. So lots to do and little time. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Instagram @aqua.models, and I will see you in my next video. Stay legendary.
I do what I want.